Okay. This probably isn't gonna reach anywhere, but I wanted to yap because I'm looking at the patch and I'm talking to myself, and I might as well put it out there somewhere so that it's not on my mind. Um, don't know where to start, so we're just gonna start. I quite like this actually. Sploosh, all the spray shooters, Sploosh, Splattershot, Aerospray, Nova down here, it's separated and got a different one for some reason. They all get buffs. That's like, sure, okay. I guess they want to buff the spray shooters for Sploosh. That's pretty cool. They actually extended its range like straight up. Not by much. 3% of very little is very little. So it's barely gonna go up. It's not like they buffed E-liter range by 3%. 3% of E-liter range is a lot, but 3% of Sploosh, like, sure, whatever. Inzap, sure. Um, Run speed is going to be better on it, which means cooler is going to be stronger on it. Natural synergy, that's pretty cool. It's getting closer to being Splash too. I don't like that. I mean, their damages are different now, but it all of its buffs have been making it slowly more and more like Splash, and I don't like it. They feel like such similar weapons. Um, this is really cool. Uh, I'll I'm probably gonna mention it more, but well, actually no, I'll just mention that. It really feels like they're expanding. Last patch they buffed Shot and Pro, and we're like, hey, we're gonna make Shot and Pro better because they're kind of like the baseline fundamental weapons, and then we'll be able to buff other weapons around them more. And lo and behold, we're getting more shooter buffs. That doesn't really say anything in it of itself, because of course we're getting shooter buffs. It's a Splatoon 3 patch. But it really feels like they're doing kind of the same with the other classes. Swig, I think they know Roller's good. Like V Roller is really good. Carbon isn't all that bad, so they don't really know where to go. The only rollers left are Flingza, Dynamo, and Swig. So I think they just kind of Swig run the lottery. Maybe they don't want to touch Dynamo yet because they've already been trying to buff it, and they don't want to touch Flingza because it has missiles and screen. And I think they realize that they don't like either of those specials. So I think Big Swig just got really lucky with its situation. Paintbrush. I don't know why they randomly decided to buff Paintbrush and not Inkbrush or Octobrush. We're gonna ignore the Octobrush 10 points for special buff. Who cares? Um, I mean that's cool. I guess 2 frames off of its normal continuous swings. This is cool. I'm biased because I really like Slatlings. Um, I don't know if this is gonna go back to its Splatoon 1 charge time. Its Splatoon 1 charge time is like instantaneous. So I don't know, and I don't want to crunch numbers, so I'll just find out tomorrow. Um, Same with like heavy. Like these two get buffed, which is pretty interesting because neither of these are in a. I mean, heavy's in a pretty bad spot if you look at like the top of the meta with Pencil and Edit being the main cooler weapons. Mini wasn't doing all that bad. It kind of got boxed out by uh decav and roller as a bubble option because it wasn't aggressive. It was supportive. Um, but I find it interesting. This kind of mirrors what they did last patch with Shot and Pro. They got a very basic weapon of the class and then another very basic weapon of the class with longer range and buff both of those. They're doing the same thing here with Splatlings, and spoiler, they're doing the same thing with Dualies as well. But I find that interesting, and I feel like, at least for Splatlings, it makes a lot of sense. I don't think they want to touch Hydra with a 10-foot pole because that thing is a nightmare to balance. Nautilus is a gimmick splatling and Ballpoint is a gimmick splatling. These are the two most basic splatlings they would want to touch, and they're buffing both of them. So I don't know if they're going to want to touch any of the other splatlings. I don't think they would want to touch Hydra with a 10-foot pole or Ballpoint with a 30-foot pole, considering maybe Nautilus, but I don't know. But this is very interesting. Same thing for Dualies. More range, same like spray shooter buff they gave to Apples, but like okay. Splat Dualies is really cool. This was a nerf that the entire weapon class got all at once in Splatoon 2. And if I recall, this was the nerf they're going back on, the nerf that finally actually closed the casket on in parries. Like it was kind of struggling at that point, and I think Kinza was around by that point, and it was kind of struggling, but making it harder to hit people without dodge rolling, forcing dually players to commit to the dodge roll for kills, like Tetras do, but for the whole class, really hurt it, and they're just going back on it straight up, which is really cool. And again, they're buffing the short range one and the basic one. So maybe more in the future. I don't know. I don't know as much about dualies. I don't know if like Tetras on Nightmare to balance. Dualie sculptures are long overdue, but people are still holding on to it and putting up some results, so maybe they're wary. I don't know. Dowser could easily become a C-Jet again if they are stupid with it, but I don't know. So something to think about. I don't know why they go back on this class-wide nerf for one single weapon of the class, but like, all right, man, it's better than nothing, I guess. Recycled, all right. You know, Brella and maybe even Tint. Tint, I mean, it does deserve a buff, but like, it's more relevant than Sorella Brella or Recycled. Undercover is just that meme of like a kid playing with, or a parent playing with their kid, and then as it goes down, the images should get more deserted until it's like a skeleton sitting on the sea floor. That's what the Brella is. It's man, um, or that's undercover. At the bottom of the seafloor, just gone. I don't even think they're trying. Sniper Rider, less pa- less paint width, and this irritates me a little bit. I think they want Sniper Rider to stay strong, but like even though it has the damaging range, like this projectile range of like Splatter Scope, its painting range is like E-liter scope. They keep decreasing the width of the shots, but not the actual range that it paints. I don't even care if it can like hit you for 68 damage at splatter scope range, but it can paint your feet from E-liter range. I can't tell you the amount of times that I don't even get killed or hurt or damaged by a sniper rider. It's not even just my personal opinion or my personal experience with the weapon, but like it paints from so far away that it really can just sit back like CJ used to be able to in some ways, an even more extreme version of it. So I really think that instead of decreasing the width of it, uh, they should decrease the range of the paint. Like now this makes it harder for all of the weapons that want to go in behind Sniper Rider, like Roller and Decav, have a harder time going behind because the shots are more narrow. Like decrease the range, and it keeps the synergy that the weapon has with aggressive weapons while nerfing the annoying aspect of it can paint at E-liter range. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too worked up, but like, why? I decreased. I disagreed with this last time they did it, and now they're doing it again and doubling down. I really feel like decreasing the width isn't the way to go. I think decreasing the range of the paint range specifically. Again, I don't care about the actual damaging range. I care about the painting range. Like it's stupid that it paints at E-liter distance and can get value while sitting back like at E-liter range. It's not getting true value. Like a good sniper rider is going to be playing for damage and stuff like that, obviously. But the fact that it can like feasibly actually sit back at E-liter range and do its job of getting coolers, its primary job of getting coolers, is pretty stupid. Maybe ignorance on my part, maybe partially social or special, like my English, maybe partially my bias from my own experience of getting my feet painted from 5 miles away. But yeah, I really don't like that they're going this direction with it instead of length. I'm gonna stop rambling. Decav. I'm gonna read this again. Uh, yeah, they're not decreasing the actual speed that you move, but they're giving more reaction time, which I really like. Like it's not that big of a nerf. I don't think. I'm not a decaf player, and I don't know any decaf players, but it does have a moment where you're charged up before you start dashing, and that moment is already almost almost like actually abusable. And now they're increasing that. It's only by 2 frames, but 2 frames is quite a bit. So I don't know. I feel like this could give you more reaction time to try to shoot at them before you instantly die or before you take 80 damage from its max range. Whatever. It could help. They're also decreasing the paint, which is pretty cool. It'll get bubble less often. That makes it less annoying in general. Again, both of these, they make it less annoying. Like they're toning down the power here, and they're toning down how annoying it is with bubbles here and how spammy it is with bubbles here. So like I don't know how it's going to work out that they're forcing it to be more aggressive by making it paint less while also making its aggressive capabilities weaker. That sounds dangerous, but I feel like it's in such a good spot already. It'll be fine. Plus, this is very minor. Again, 2 frames. Like 2 frames is a lot sometimes. I, I'm slightly contradicting myself. Like 2 frames is a lot, but 2 frames on a charge slash that takes a really long time to charge up and comes out isn't as bad. It's not like Tri-Slosher or Machine or anything like that getting a 2 frame buff that they're using that buff every second really as they're like playing, blah blah blah. English. I could have worded that better, but I feel like this is less impactful because it's happening less often. Stamp. Oh, I wish they would just fix the special, man. They increased the shockwave size a while ago, like way earlier, and now you can die from a bunch of rapid 40 hits from like farther than you would think with Stamp, which makes it really unintuitive to try to dodge. And now you can get hit by the splash damage of the skill shot and still instantly explode. Like, it definitely needed a buff, and this makes it like a better counter to Crab too, which is pretty nice. You still like, I don't know. This isn't all that bad. The 30 damage being turned into 60 so that things can combo with the very outside hit of the splash damage is fine. But like the medium hit right outside of the stamp, the same problem that it has with the rush mode. The 40 damage being bigger, so that not only the stamp can kill you, but the shockwaves around it can heal you. Now it can do that with the throw. Not only is the stamp killing you, the shockwave in like splash damage around the stamp can also instantly kill you. I don't I don't think I like that all that much. This one is fine though. Like, yeah, okay, sure. Okay. Um, I don't think that Zone's cheese is gonna be that bad. If it even gets it, it doesn't paint all that much already. I think it painting an area like I'm all right with this. It painting an area is all right because you have kind of that risk reward of the splashdown. So if it lands, even if Two Fist lands and like the player gets canceled, it gives their team paint. It's not really useful in that situation because the guy died getting the splashdown off. Trading a life for some paint isn't worth it. So like whatever. But I think especially if you survive, having more paint to move around and more reward for having a good splashdown, I like that. I don't think zone cheese is going to be a problem. If the guy is able to get all the way into the middle of zone and pop splashdown and get it to land, you're not doing a great job defending. It's not like Reef Slider at all. Like even if he gets to the middle of zone, all the way to the middle and pop splashdown, you can shoot at the fish to decrease the paint. Like you can literally shoot at it and it will paint less. I I don't think that that'll be a problem. It's not like Reef Slider where you have an invincible ride going from not nearly your base, but right outside mid all the way into zone, and there's nothing the enemy team can do about it. This, you have plenty of things you can do about it. Even if someone flanks, which is only possible, it's not even possible in this game. Even if someone flanks, like then you're just not watching out good enough. Like skill issue. If someone gets in and fucking cap zone with splashdown, that is a you problem. I I don't know what to tell you. That's um I like this. It's not what everybody wants. I've never really cared that much about the startup for Zooka. Here recently, it's kind of been more annoying. The entire 53 radius, I don't think the 35 radius is a thing right now. I could be wrong. It could be like Stamp where nobody knew that the 40 radius existed until this game when it got buffed. But getting bullshitted by the 53 radius bazooka less often is pretty nice. That's the most annoying thing about it a lot of the time. Getting comboed by like Azuka missing their shot twice and you still dying, or getting comboed because something hit you and then Azuka missed their shot and you still die, or you're hiding behind cover, recovering, hiding behind cover, like getting health back, sitting in your ink, and then you die to Zuka because it hit the wall and one curved around you and hit behind you and hit the 53. Those situations are happening much less now, and I find that really cool. a stupid situation happening less often is still a stupid situation, but that's the most annoying part about Zooka, in my opinion. Um, and it's not in a super strong spot, I don't believe right now. It used to be super strong, but now it's like not that bad, but especially with so much bubble going around. Like it's in a all right enough spot. Plus, this is also, I think this is the bigger. No, I don't want to say that. This isn't the bigger change, but this is also a very significant change. 1/2 of a second doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Um, the moment you hear the Zookas pop, your entire team has to slow down. Like you have to be way of the Zooka, and if they space out their shots, you have to slow down for a really long time, and it's very easily taken advantage of. So now the Zooka player has to actually make those shots very quickly, which I find alright. It really slows down the game less, like not for as long, and the Zooka player having to make their shots quickly. Yeah, that's a good thing. I like that. Um, I would have taken the special in a completely different direction, and unrelated. I would have done the exact opposite. That my personal dream changes for the special, but like whatever. My dreams changes probably would have turned it back into a lottery, so that's not exactly cool either. Anyways, enough of my own self-inserting buffs changes. Whatever, whatever. Probably 99% probably not relevant. A few Dowser players have said they prefer the vanilla kit, but like 99% not relevant. S Blast, like, all right. I don't think it was spamming Zookas to be or spamming Booyus to begin with, but like, sure. Like, I guess it was becoming kind of popular. It sucks that a bubble counter is getting nerfed with the thing that allows it to counter a bubble getting reduced in output. Like, I don't quite like that, but whatever, man. This is such a slap on the wrist nerf. Just wear comeback. If it's that big of a problem, like, I don't know, throw one more burst bomb over the course of your life if it's that big of a problem. I don't think it's that big. It's certainly crappy, but, there had to be one thing in this balance change that wasn't very cool besides Stamp. Um, I guess it had to be S-Blast getting lottery nerfed. I don't know. Maybe this will make Forge slightly more viable. I don't know. Okay. If any weapon deserved to be 220p, it's not machine. It might not be Squeezer, but the weapon that has, again, eliter scope painting range, that that's fair. um, yeah, nothing much more to say. This isn't gonna kill Sniper Rider. It still has like the damage it can do and stuff like that, but its cool output will be significantly less. So, also Zap is getting buffed at the same time. So the only cooler weapon that didn't get changed here is Edit, but I don't think it needed to change. It's already been on the rise, and if I think they know that, so they probably didn't want to touch it. But with how much they nerfed Edit's paint last time, I think this is more fair. Like, Edit still paints a lot, especially if you look up and down, which isn't always possible, but especially if you look up and down, it still paints a lot. So this kind of not balances it out, but Edit got reined back a lot last pass, while Pencil only got reined back a little bit, and now Pencil is being reined back a little bit more. I think to make up for it, might even it out a little bit, bring it closer. Also, again, Zap got buffed up here, movement speed, which means it'll paint a little bit safer. Not well, yeah, safer and a little bit better. So you know, there's really nothing to talk about. Who cares? In Bluefin Depot, they moved a lamp, which is going to be on. It's not in the Splatfest changes. It's an actual change, straight up. So Bluefin Depot gets like 1% better. Very cool. Uh, I don't know where it is, but this Nautilus players, I'm so sorry. You got one cool tech, um, and they immediately got removed. Uh, I don't know. You got sent to the same Shadow Realm corner has Ultra Stand back in Splatoon 2. Your tech was removed. I don't know. Like, I don't know how precise it was, so like that being removed is like sure whatever. Whatever. Sucks. Sucks to suck, I guess. Shame that a cool tech got removed, but whatever. That's the only player control change that I know of, and the only one I really care about, because styling. I'm gonna end the recording now, and it's raw posted to YouTube. I just wanted to ramble, and now I got it off my chest, and now I can probably go to sleep at 1:20 in the morning. Yippee!